Tribes TV on location at the Property Investor Show at Excel, and we're just going to give you a little walk around to give you a flavour of the show. And if we look here, we can see that the open area for the seminars, and right now Paul Champliner of Landlord Action is doing his thing, and that's a new feature of the show, to have these open areas, because it means that you can get much more of a flavour of what people are speaking about, and I think it gives much more of a buzz to the show as well. Just here we've got the coffee area. And of course, one of the main things about coming to the show is networking, and it's a great place to meet up with people, make new friends, catch up with old friends, and really get a feel of what's going on in property. It's like a barometer of the whole buy-to-let scene and property investor scene. So it really is interesting, and we're going to go and have a look and see who else is here.
It's a great event for people to mix. It's the property industry, networking, which is often forgotten. You know, there's lots of great investors here, but we've also got a chance to network with people we don't often get to meet, maybe the odd phone call.
I think the fundamentals are very, very strong. Obviously, Help to Buy as a scheme is quite political with
Yes.
general election in mind. I don't see that changing the tenant dynamics. I guess the one thing that I'll just advise landlords is you just always got to be cognizant of the fact that we're in a very low interest rate environment. So you must, be, sensible with your level of gearing. Anticipate those rate rises because they're going to come, and make sure you've got a sustainable business. That would be my one word of caution, I guess.
One of the key aspects of people who are reading the same articles and listening to the same things as we all do is to understand what holiday home investment is about. And there's a real difference between lifestyle purchasing for holidays and holiday home investment. And my advice would be anyone who's looking at holiday home investment, do the same due diligence and do the same checks and have a criteria that it meets. Investing in something that costs £300,000 for a 10-year license that hopes to give you a return that promises an increase in capital return is probably going to fail on each of those elements. You need to look at something and say, well, actually, does it work for me? Does it give the right returns? Is there longevity? Property investment is for the long term. Something that promises you within property, even the holiday market, a quick return over 2 to 3 years probably isn't going to achieve that.
Critical enough that I just started a new brand called Property Fortress. Part of the idea is that you want to do consistent due diligence, which might mean having an app or having a checklist or having a spreadsheet or whatever it is, but being consistent through the whole process. And if you're comparing 3 properties, you're actually comparing the same things, like for like, that if you're asking a certain set of questions, you ask them each time. If you're looking for an agent, that you ask the same questions for the agent, so that you actually have a valid comparison. You get some of the emotion out of it, you get some of the, oh, I'm tired, I forgot to ask out of it, because you have a checklist that you're working from.
The thing is, there's these rent-to-rent companies that it's the latest, I think it's the latest craze, and we've talked about this. The previous one was lease options, where we're seeing a lot of these people fly by, and I'm happy to say that. I did an interview yesterday on Radio 4 on You and Your Money programme, where they're handing their properties over, signing deals with companies, haven't checked out. I mean, there's good products like we talked about with Northwood Lettings and Ultra Shipman, are companies with good history and obviously financial stability, but there's other companies that are taking properties from landlords who landlords think they can't rent their properties out. Well, most properties are rentable, we're in a strong marketplace, and they're keeping the rents, not passing on, then you lose the control. And we've got about 6 or 7 cases against rent-to-rent companies where we're having to serve a notice on that company. The company's either gone in liquidation or they're just ignoring it, they're not doing the eviction themselves of the subtenants, and then we're trying to be a bit proactive and say to the landlords they're instructing us to go to the property and try and do direct deals or try and get them to leave. But that, we are seeing an increase of that. It's people that are just looking for a quick buck.
New strategies have got to be tested first before you jump into them. And for example, I do really boring stuff. Really, I just do the basics, which the basics are what everybody gets wrong. So a new strategy's got to. I look at it, I find out about it, and then if it lasts for more than a couple of years, then I might investigate a little bit more about it, and maybe even do a workshop or a course, because they're fairly cheap anyway. And then even then, it's got to be tested.